The reason why you don't see this video being the video where I'm trading the funded account is because I've decided to trade paper until the end of the month, just so that I can master the strategy that I am working with now, so that the next month we can kill, straight absolute murder the markets and take everything from them. It's all about discipline and mastering your skill, not about a bunch of challenges. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis and I am just simply documenting my trading journey. First and foremost, I want to thank you for taking the time of watching this video. This is actually the second time that I have to record this video because I recorded it yesterday and the audio cut off after half of the recording, so I have to re-record this video, but it's all right. The things I do for you, you better be grateful. Either way, like I always say, follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_, follow me on TikTok at LewisVisuals. Everything is down in the description. We'll talk about the Discord and everything else in a little bit, but this is probably one of the best trading weeks that I've had. Obviously I was trading paper this whole week, but like I said, I'm going to master this strategy and be a lot more disciplined, because I think if I'm gonna work something new into my model, there's no point of risking money or risking a funded account when you could just trade paper and master it to then come back and actually kill once you're, like I said, quote unquote, perfected it. Make sure you smash that like button, make sure you smash that subscribe button, share with a friend who is also on their trading journey. Let me know in the comments how your trading week went and how your trading journey is going in general. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much. Like I said, I had already recorded this video and I just want to not get it over with, but talk about the points that I've already talked about. Either way, let's hop into the sponsor of this video and then we'll talk about the Discord. All right, now the sponsor of this video is Tektronix PCs. I will put up the video right here of my build where they helped me with some new RAM and a new case. I love it. The new case is fire. I have it down there. You can't really see it, but the new case is there. The RAM is absolutely perfect. I actually recently, the reason why I stopped posting videos for a little bit, a couple days, was because my PC was overheating. The CPU was actually hitting temperatures of over 100 degrees Celsius and I just did not want to touch my computer. But I hit up my boy Mike at Tektronix PCs and he diagnosed it for me. It took him about a day to diagnose it. Once he diagnosed it, he figured out that it was the cooler for the CPU that was broken. So what did we do? End up getting a brand new cooler from Tektronix PCs. And like I always say, use that discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. Right now their website is in the works, so you can head to their Instagram as you see right here and hit message them. They will help you out through the whole process, and once that website is up, I will be the first to update you because I know it's going to be fire. They've been working on it for a while, and something that has been getting worked on for this long has to be fire. But that's everything that I have to say for Tektronix PCs. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and also let them know that you came from the Lewis Visuals YouTube channel. Apart from that, let's head into the sponsor of this video. Make sure you watch the latest video that I posted as well. It's this video right here. Thank you so much for the amount of support. Like I said, the numbers would have looked a little different, but as you can see, I couldn't post on some days because of the issue that I was having with my PC, but we're back and hopefully we continue going. By the time we post this video, it should be at 1430 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. I am extremely grateful and thankful for every single one of you in here. But yeah, I just brought this up just so that I can thank you, because without you I wouldn't be here, honestly. And here we are in the Discord. The Discord has been extremely active and I couldn't be any more grateful for those of you who are in the Discord. If you are going to join, it is a free Discord. The link is down in the description. If you're going to join, all that I ask, my only requirement is that you're active in it. Send your trade ideas, talk about anything, send pictures, do what you want. The only thing that I will not tolerate is any disrespect or people just fooling around talking about nonsense. Mostly, like, you know, the trollers, the people who just be trolling and trying to rage bait people. I kick you out right away. But the Discord is open and we have been very active, so thank you if you're in here already and you're active, sending your trades, sending questions, ideas, all that stuff. We've been talking about psychology in here. We've been talking about a bunch of different stuff. Thank you so much for that. Link is down in the description once again if you want to join. If you want access to all of this, which is the premium Discord and all the lectures and all that stuff, the real estate section is in the works. The crypto section is also in the works, as you can see there. All you have to do is come all the way down here to join premium, and all the information that you need is in there. If you want to have one-on-one mentorship with me and learn how to trade from me, how I trade, it is in there as well, with the prices and everything and how to contact me. If you have any questions on that as well, you could text me here in the free Discord or on Instagram DMs. The same thing. If you want testimonials, you have testimonials right here. One of my students ended up passing another funded account. The dude is on a tear right now. Super proud of him. He's been putting in a lot of work, and if you want more testimonials, it's all in there, so go ahead and check it out yourself. Apart from many other things, we have profits and losses in here. We have a bunch of different things. It's just a crazy Discord, and I'm gonna make it better. It's just gonna continue to get better as we continue going. We just had somebody else join. We're about to hit 145 members. Thank you so much if you're in here already. Let's head into the video. Now let's get into the good stuff. This is what the trading week looked like. I don't have any of my drawings up right now because, as you know, crazy trading week week, but the way that I've been trading, it gets a little messy. So I start every video like this. I just noticed we were having a crazy new week opening gap in here, but that will be determined tomorrow in terms of what type of trade we're gonna take. Either way, we had a Tuesday low all the way up to a Friday high. I had an amazing trading week. I missed the trade on Monday because it hit my level and I wasn't extremely confident because it was in the pre-market. Tuesday, I think I hit the long. I missed the short, crazy short on Tuesday. Wednesday, I caught the long and the short, and I believe on Thursday I caught the short and the long as well. Friday, I caught the long. Amazing week. We'll talk about it once we get into it, but let's bring the drawings in and just get started. Honestly, if this is the first time that you're tuning in, I'm just simply back testing, letting you know what I took this week and how I could learn from it and become better at it. But let's bring the drawings in. There we are, and let's head straight into Monday. Now Monday, it was a simple trade. Honestly, I'm not going to explain any of the levels. I'm not going to explain anything. I'm just going to have it here because I need it for after this video. If not, I would have deleted all the stuff, and I did delete a lot of it yesterday because of the fact that it gets a little crowded, as you can see, a lot of numbers and all that stuff. But we'll explain it as best as I can, as well as, you know, try to make it so that you understand it. This trade here on Monday, it was very simple. Obviously, I have these levels lined up and all that stuff, but it was very simple. It was a new week opening gap, bounce, and OTE. It was a very simple trade in this 1 hour order block as well, inside this inverse gap, or this bullish fair value gap here. It was a very simple trade. If I bring in the OTE as well, as you can see here, we came back down to OTE inside this big wick, inside the new week opening gap, and longed them. And that's the thing. If we drop into the lower time frames, for example, the 1 minute, and if you see me kind of going quickly through this video, I apologize. Like I said, I have already recorded this video once and it only recorded half. Had to just make sure we're still recording, so we're good. This is the trade that I was having. Honestly, I'm gonna leave the levels there, so if you see it, just copy them and try to decipher them yourself. There's obviously a lot more than just the level, but the reason why I didn't take this long on this day and why I missed out, one, there wasn't many retracements, as you can see, but two, it happened at like 9:16, 9 something. Yeah, so I was actually going to enter right here on the close of this candle, so about 9:16 I was going to take an entry, and I hesitated. I was like, you know what, let me just wait for market open, and then next thing you know, boom, they took off. Why? Because there was a lot of stuff lining up. We already hit the new week opening gap, as you can see right here. I'll bring in this indicator. As you can see, I brought the indicator for the new week opening gap, and that is the new week opening gap. It was a very simple trade. I'm trying to keep my stuff very simple, and as you can see, extremely simple. Came down to that, respected it. There was an SMT if you look on ES. All right, so we brought up ES right here. As you can see, there is an SMT. It is a 1 minute SMT. A lot of people don't take those seriously, but if you also pay attention to the order flow, there was an SMT with ES coming into this CISD right here. CISD there, CISD here, inside the new week opening gap. ES did not, ES did come down and tap the CISD, giving a perfect entry. NQ did not. I saw NQ not coming down to the CISD, and I told my cousin, because we're actually, he was here for the week, and we were back testing the strategy and trying to decipher it together, and we had some amazing trades this week, honestly. And I told him at this very moment, I said, this thing is gonna shoot, it's gonna skyrocket higher, and next thing you know, it just took off. And I didn't take the entry because it was too close to the 9:30 open, or way before market open, and I was too afraid to take it. It was my fault for not taking it. I should have took it, but it is what it is. Didn't lose or win anything, but the levels worked, so the strategy is working. But as you see, that SMT there was the reason why I wanted to take the entry. But I knew for a fact that once they tapped this fair value gap, they were leaving, and they weren't gonna tap the CISD because that was gonna be the SMT. So that there, stop. Obviously, I trade with my strategy a 10-point stop. This would have been the best stop loss right here. 13 points, not bad. If you had it there, and about 10 right there, so I probably would have had it at 10 either way, and then targeted the previous week high because they took off, and the previous week high was right here. So that would have been about 84 points, and you could have left the runner as well, or, you know, trail your stop and let it just run because it kept running. That thing just kept booming, and obviously I'll show you what happened later on. But that is pretty much the breakdown for that trade, using pretty regular PD arrays. I wasn't, you know, trying to have too many different things and too many different confluences. I'm trying to keep my trading very simple. I know it looks very erratic and very how do I put it, crowded in here, but it's literally very simple. I'm keeping it very simple, but I'm not going to talk about anything because I want to make sure I really do master the strategy before I talk about anything in particular in terms of the strategy itself and how it works and all that stuff. I haven't even told anybody in my premium Discord, honestly, because I want to master it. I don't want to talk to them about something that I haven't mastered myself. But let's move on to Tuesday. Now Tuesday, I knew the draw on liquidity was lower. Why? Because I had levels from over here, and those levels ended up marking basically the start of the daily fair value gap, and I knew there was a daily fair value gap. Most likely we're going to be bearish. I was trying to catch the short, but my levels were a little bit higher, and I had the wrong levels at that point, so I ended up fixing it after, and I sent it in the Discord. But I had the wrong levels on the short, missed out on the shorts, right? And then I caught, obviously obviously using the correct levels inside the daily fair value gap. I think I took a break even here in this trade, or a small loss, and then hopped into this entry, perfect entry with a 8-point stop at the halfway point of that rejection block. And I was just targeting, I believe it was a 5-minute gap, if I'm not mistaken. The weekly open, it was the weekly open, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was the weekly open that I was targeting, something around here for like about 100 and something points. Weekly open, very nice trade, nothing crazy. Once again, we were inside a PD array, we were inside the daily fair value gap, and I knew we were bullish. I knew that this manipulation was probably going to be the manipulation for the weekly candle. If you know the power of 3, study your power of 3. It's very important. But inside of there, I got my entry trigger, which was a rejection block entry, and took it. You could have also waited and taken something else apart from that, probably an inverse gap in here, or this CISD. I know a lot of people who took the CISD once we closed above this candle up here. You could have also taken the CISD off of this one candle once we closed this candle and came back with this one. That could have been your CISD depending on how you see it, but I got in down here. This up here would have been an entry. I don't know what you would have been targeting. I would have targeted just the weekly open, because it's still Tuesday. There wasn't a lot of news, there wasn't a lot of volatility, so I was expecting us to chop a little bit, and they ended up doing this. But that is basically the trade that I took on Tuesday. Still keeping it very simple, nothing too crazy. I'm not gonna explain the levels like I said already, but let's move on to Wednesday now, because Wednesday was crazy. I don't think I recorded videos for Monday and Tuesday because I just didn't hit the record button, because I was too focused on actually trying to catch the correct points where it's gonna reverse. And then Wednesday and forward was when I actually recorded, and I caught a crazy short on Wednesday and forgot to record the short, but amazing short. Then I caught the long and I recorded the long, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll put the long up here. The long should be playing right now, as you see there, as I explained the short that I ended up taking. I knew that we were gonna end up manipulating lower. I had my levels lined up. These aren't all the levels, but I have my levels lined up. Obviously, after getting an entry trigger once again, which was the halfway point of this fair value gap, I didn't take it right away because I wasn't too confident in it, so I waited a little bit. They came back up inside of the rejection block. I took it off of that, and then they ended up dumping, and I was targeting the low of Asia. Honestly, could have targeted the fair value gap again on the daily, but I didn't know they were gonna dump that far. And then I take this trade. So that was that. That was basically a 7.5 R, risking about 11 points, if I'm not mistaken, or 8 points right above there. Very simple entry, kept it very simple. As you can see as well, it was just them coming back inside of the rejection block here. As you see, boom, that rejection block there was the reason why I took the short on Wednesday at the same time. So it's just using PD arrays, honestly, and as you see, we're inside this big gap, so I knew we were gonna try to manipulate lower either way. So yeah, that's the reason why I took the short. Now let's move on to the long that I took that day. Then I realized that we were gonna head a lot lower with these levels here. Then I realized that we were gonna head lower with these levels here, so that's why I decided to take the long off of there as well. As you can see, dumped, hit these levels over here, back inside of the daily fair value gap. So using PD arrays, same old. Then in here, I just waited for an entry. I didn't get the rejection block entry trigger, if I'm being honest. So what did I do? I think I took a break even here on this long, because I had levels lining up around here. Took a break even, then I took a loss down here. Once we came down into this area, I think I took another break even here, if I'm not mistaken. Then here, I took a loss because they came down and shoot the level that I was trying to go long at. Then they do all this, and I just keep watching, and I like this inverse fair value gap or this balanced price range here, so I just took the long right here. Literally, I saw that they came down, didn't take out the low, most likely an SMT there as well. I see that they're respecting the halfway point of the balanced price range. I set my limit right there, stop below this low, if I'm not mistaken, for 10 points or about 13 points, and then I move it below this one once they start to move up. And what was I targeting? The 12 o'clock opening price. Targeted the 12 o'clock opening price, but with my projections, I did end up getting levels up here as well for a target, but this trade ended up hitting at almost 12. I just was done with the day, honestly, and just wanted to get off. But same thing, using PD arrays and the same entries. A lot of people took the CISD entry here with their stop below this low, and it worked out. You don't have to trade the same way that I do. See what you see and work with it. If you see your CISD entry happening at for example, here, a daily fair value gap, use that as your confluence and use that to trade. Very simple work here. Now let's head to Thursday, because Thursday was another day where I was just catching bangers. Honestly, probably the best day that I had was on Thursday, but it was very simple. I caught the short and I posted the short because it was a banger. The short should pop up here, and you could also find it on my Instagram at LewisVisuals_ if you want to see them. I post them every time I take a trade. I post it on there. Took the short short and then took the long off of the same confluences. The short I took because we came and we were inside of this 15-minute fair value gap, kind of a higher time frame order block, which is a 1 hour order block right there. And I was still bullish. I was extremely bullish. If you take OTE as well, from this low to the higher day, there was OTE as well. I was bearish at the open because we had a daily SMT with Thursday. We already took out Asia high on ES, and Q didn't take out Asia high, so I just wanted to see price drop lower. Let's take a look at the short that I just posted so you can see this majestic short. I took a break even right before that, and then I took the short. So as you can see here, ended up getting these levels for the short, and I actually took the entry before there. I probably got in like right here at 394.25. Stop above this high, they end up dumping, and I'm in a lot of profit. Then they come back to break even. Why? Because there was news at 9:45, so I was expecting them to come back up and turtle soup that entry, and they did. And I took the entry there. I had a 10-point stop, but I moved it down to 4 because it was right above the high. So then they dumped, and I was just targeting this low here. But honestly, could have held it a little longer, but it's fine. Then this beauty ends up popping up. It hits one of my levels, or a lot of my levels. A lot of levels lined up on this day for this long. We were inside that 15-minute fair value gap for longs, as well as I believe it was a 4-hour order block, if I'm not mistaken. We had swept good liquidity, like I said, hit this order block here, then had the fair value gap. Very simple entry. I entered on the halfway point of a 15-minute wick, if I'm not mistaken. As you see right here, halfway point of the 15-minute wick was an entry. Actually, I think I might have entered right before then. I think it might have been the 1-minute rejection block wick, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, it's just a 1-minute rejection block. I entered at the rejection block on the 1 minute, had my stop below the low, and then they just took off. After that, I just watched it. I was targeting up here because my levels lined up there, but I could have held it a little longer, as you can see, but it continued to chop for the rest of the day. But those were the 2 banger trades that I took on this day. Man, Thursday was a fire day to trade, if I'm being honest. A lot of movement, a lot of clear direction, a lot of confluences showing up. You just have to be keen and be able to see it. But if you don't see it, don't stress about it. Don't try to jump into trades and try to Friday's a perfect example, and you'll see it right now. You don't have to catch the bottom tick. If you're using whatever confluence to find the direction, the overall direction, just find a good entry, get in, and then let the market play out. And that's exactly what happened on Friday. So let's move on to Friday really quickly. So this is the trade that I took on Friday. Obviously the levels lined up perfectly, and I believe there was a higher time frame order block as well. I think it was a 4-hour order block that lined up on Friday, but I ended up missing it. As you can see, missed it completely. A lot of people entered on the inverse of this fair value gap right here, and that was a perfect entry if you saw it as that. I just wanted to wait because I was kind of upset that I missed the good entry, but I was like, you know what, let me not FOMO into anything, let me wait and see. But as you can see right here, we have this down close candle that gets respected right before 10 o'clock open, and I was like, they're probably not going to come down anymore after 10 o'clock, and they're just going to move higher. So I targeted this right here for 36 points, which was the 12 o'clock open. They obviously kept going higher after that, but I took this with I believe 3 contracts, and I posted it as well. The video will be up right here. But after I saw that these levels were being respected, I was looking for an entry trigger. I never got it. They just took off. I just waited to see if they were going to inverse this. They inversed it, never entered, still didn't enter, and then they had this 1-minute CISD, still didn't enter. So I was like, you know what, let me just wait. And then at 9:56 they dropped down, and I saw them respect this down close candle. I was like, you know what, let me try to take an entry here. I took an entry there, stop below here for about 9 points, and then I targeted this high. And this is one of the days that tests your psychology. If I would have moved that to break even at any point on this day, would have been cooked. But like I said, if you don't rush into trades, and this is for example my first trade of the day, which it was, I didn't take any entry before this, you can see that I was risking less than $200 with 1 contract, and then you just let it run. Honestly, if I would have lost on this day, I wouldn't even been mad because it was obviously a choppy conditions, but it was a good idea, had a good risk to reward, and ended up hitting. But that is it for all the trades that I took this week. Like I said, I will talk to you guys more about the strategy and everything else once I master it a little bit more. I'm going to continue to trade on paper. I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna continue trading on paper because I want to master this before I even talk about it to anybody else. I thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure you leave a comment, leave a like, smash that like button, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_, follow me on TikTok at LewisVisuals. All the links are down in the description. Join the Discord. Please be active if you're gonna join the Discord. That's all that I ask. Check out Tektronics and let them know you're coming from the Lewis Visuals YouTube channel. Use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off as well. Their website should be up very soon. And if you're watching this video, we made it through and the audio didn't mess up. This is the second time, like I said, that I've recorded this video, but it is what it is. I hope you have an amazing trading week. I'll see you back here for the next video because I should have a lot more experience trading this way, and maybe I'll give you a couple little gems in there. Maybe I'll throw 1 gem in there for you guys in the next video. But apart from that, that's everything that I have have to say, and I thank you so much for watching the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.